Shakur Stevenson has rejected Terence Crawford's suggestion that his potential fight against Gervonta Tank Davis should take place on the undercard of Crawford's highly anticipated showdown with Canelo Alvarez in September. Since moving up to the lightweight division in 2023, Stevenson has been actively campaigning for a fight against Tank, calling it the biggest fight in boxing. He has consistently pushed for the matchup, using interviews and social media to try and persuade Davis to step into the ring with him. Stevenson knows that a fight with Tank would elevate his career to new heights, both financially and in terms of recognition. However, Tank has shown little interest, seemingly unbothered by Stevenson's attempts to build hype around the fight. Many believe Davis is well aware that he does not need Stevenson to maintain his star power, as he has already established himself as one of the biggest attractions in boxing. At first, Stevenson used his accomplishments at 126 and 130 pounds as leverage, trying to convince Tank that he was worthy of the fight. He often highlighted his dominant performances and world title wins, hoping to frame himself as the most deserving challenger. However, Tank remained unmoved by these claims. After winning the vacant WBC lightweight title against Edwin de los Santos, Stevenson shifted his focus to a unification angle, believing that unifying titles would make the fight more appealing. But Tank, who has never prioritized collecting belts, appears uninterested in Stevenson's tactics. Unlike many fighters who chase championships, Davis has built his career around being an attraction, someone fans will pay to watch, regardless of the stakes. Some believe that Shakur is pushing for this fight now because he wants a big payday before another top lightweight exposes his weaknesses. While Stevenson insists that a showdown with Davis would generate massive pay-per-view numbers, there is skepticism about whether he truly has the star power to back up that claim. Despite being a world-class talent, Stevenson's following on social media doesn't compare to the likes of Ryan Garcia, who boasts millions of fans across multiple platforms. Ryan's ability to attract attention from both casual and hardcore boxing fans makes him a much more valuable opponent for Tank. In contrast, Shakur has a relatively smaller fan base, raising doubts about whether a fight with Tank would bring in blockbuster PPV numbers. Stevenson may have a strong resume and undeniable skill, but boxing today is as much about business as it is about talent. Many believe that if Tank is looking for the biggest fight in boxing, a rematch with Garcia would be a far more lucrative option than facing Stevenson. Their first fight was a massive financial success, and a second bout would likely generate even more interest. Tank has already proven his ability to sell fights on his own and doesn't need Shakur to boost his profile. Even though Stevenson continues to push for the fight, Tank's team understands that they have far better options available. Meanwhile, Davis has no intention of fighting on the undercard of Crawford versus Canelo. Given his status as one of boxing's biggest attractions, he sees himself as a headliner, not a supporting act. Fighters at Tank's level rarely agree to be part of another fighter's event unless there is an overwhelming financial incentive. If Crawford was hoping to use a Davis versus Stevenson fight to generate more interest in his PPV event, he will have to look elsewhere. Tank's team understands that they don't need to be attached to another major fight to sell their own event, as they have consistently drawn large audiences on their own. Some have suggested that Crawford could ask his friend Keyshawn Davis to be part of the card, but Keyshawn, like Stevenson, lacks the mainstream appeal needed to significantly impact pay-per-view sales. While both Stevenson and Keyshawn are talented fighters, neither has yet reached the level where their names alone guarantee massive pay-per-view numbers. At the end of the day, Stevenson remains determined to secure a fight with Davis, but the reality is that Tank holds all the leverage. Stevenson can continue calling for the fight, but unless he can significantly boost his marketability or bring something truly valuable to the table, it's unlikely that Tank will entertain the idea. Davis knows that he has the ability to choose his opponents, and he is unlikely to take a fight that does not serve his best interests. For now, Davis has bigger opportunities in front of him, while Stevenson will have to find another way to prove he belongs at the top of the lightweight division. If Shakur truly wants the fight, he may need to take a different approach, perhaps building his profile further, taking on high-profile